Hello. So, uh, Voicemeeter Potato got an update to version 3.1.1.1, and with that, it kind of fixed a couple of things and also added a couple of things. I thought I would show you how to, or how my setup works at the moment, uh, also including OBS. So yeah, the changes. They updated the audio drivers for Voicemeeter Potato. Previously, I got some weird issues that after a while, having the computer on, I got some weird crackling noise on OBS or Voicemeter on the microphone and also headphones and stuff. And I had to go to the menu and restart the audio engine from time to time. And it was an issue with the a thing called CPU affinity. So it was using all the cores. The audio engine was using all the cores on the CPU, and that was causing an issue. So if you just set it to use one core, this audio engine, it was kind of a problem, or it solved the problem. But then another issue sort of evolved when you sort of restarted your computer. That if CPU affinity were kind of reset, so you have to set it every time you start the computer. And I used the third-party software to fix that and stuff. So, but that is now fixed with the audio drivers update in this one. The previous audio drivers were sort of for Windows 7. Now they updated the drivers and it's more suitable for Windows 10 and 11. And that kind of fixed the crackling issue that I used to have. So if you have that issue yourself, the crackling issue, you might want to update Potato. Another thing they actually added were these buttons here at the top, also at the bottom. If you go into sound settings over here, and I go to the bottom, more sound settings, it's easier to show this way. We're gonna have it over here. If you are on the playback devices, if you install this new update, you will get a bunch of new devices. You have, of course, the regular ones that comes previously, the aux input, the regular input, and the VIO 3 input. They added these 5 devices. And I think the top ones actually correspond to these playback devices. Don't quote on me on this one, but I think it does. On the recording tab, the same thing here. They added this A1 to A5, and I think they are the same over here at the bottom here, outputs. And you also got, the B1 to B3. They are at the bottom. They're still the same as before. So that's kind of new. So previously, I just on the inputs here, I selected right now. I just selected the microphone, and the other ones I used to have these virtual cables, and I got all of them, the A to D and the regular one, but I don't really need these ones. And yeah, maybe I forgot to mention, but to sort of activate these devices, you need to pay sort of a license for it. Voicemeeter Potato is free to use for 30 days. And then it started bugging you to pay a license for it. And it will bug you every like 6 hours or so. So it's super annoying. So you can, I suggest you actually pay a license for it. At the bottom here in the menu, you have the About Box license. This is for regular Potato. It will cost you like $10 or something. So it's not expensive. It's a one-time fee. It's not a subscription. It's just one-time fee. Yeah, and then an extra new thing with the update, you have this Vio extension license. That's another extra $5. If you are a streamer or whatever, this is completely worth it because it adds a bunch of extra stuff. So be able to use these extra devices, you need to pay that Vio extension license. So yeah, that's kind of a new thing. So I use these top ones instead. Yeah, so that's what's kind of changed. I have a video on my sort of dual PC setup. Right now, on the hardware side, I still have the Yamaha surround sound receiver. It's connected to an HDMI port on my graphics card. That's why it says NVIDIA high definition audio here. And when I actually power on or start my secondary computer, my recording PC, instead of having the Yamaha showing up as a playback device, the capture card on the other computer show up as a playback device instead. So I have to switch that in here. The second one, the A2, is just a regular my headphones. I have a USB headphone amp / DAC. It's a USB connected DAC, and I plug my headphones into it. So that's A1 and A2, and the rest, A3, 4, 5, and stuff, they are for OBS and also V-band. Because if I decide to record gameplay, I record that on the other computer. And yeah, I use these then I use these buses, A3, 4, 5 and stuff. You see this, the same thing, they show up here. So I send those audio streams to the other computer through Voicemeeter. And the other computer, Voicemeeter on the other computer capture it. And yeah, I explained how I set this up in a different video. So I put a link to that video. So V-band is really nice. You can send up to 9 different computers, audio streams. You can also receive a bunch of stuff. So yeah, the other recording, if I decide to stream again, it sends back the like the stream alerts or the stream alerts to this computer, so I can hear the alerts, and they show up on the first one here. Yeah, the other changes, in OBS. So when I record this kind of tutorials, I just use OBS on this computer. If I record gameplay, I will do it on the other computer. But it works just the same as on the other computer as this one. I set it up exactly the same, except for on this computer I record 5.1 audio. On the other computer I record stereo. So most people go to settings and they will set up the audio over here. I disable everything here because I set it up a different way. And you can also see the channels 5.1. Normally it says stereo over here. Yeah. So when I disable everything here, this audio mixer, it will be completely blank. So on the first scene, I set up these audio devices. And then I create a group of these. So for example, I add on the first scene, I add all of these. So for example, these monitors here, I select one. and then hold down Shift key and select the last one, and it will select all of these. And to create a group, you just right click on this, and at the top you have group selected items, and you can name that group. I named it audio. So when I create a new scene, it will be blank again here in the audio section. So all I do in that new section is kind of hard to view or show it right now, because if I switch scene, you can't really see it. But what you do is if you create a new scene, and in that scene to add the audio stuff, you just click plus sign, and you have at the bottom you have the group. So you add the group, and then you click add existing, and your audio group, the created group, will show up here, and you select that one, and that way you will add these audio devices on each scene. So instead of just adding all devices separately, you just add the group to the new scene, and your audio devices is there. And why do I do this? Well, that has to do with these devices. So you can see all of these devices have a microphone on it, and that's because it's an input capture instead of an output capture. So when you actually add a device plus here, you have audio input capture or audio output capture, and the output have a speaker on it. I select input capture because in Voicemeeter I have this limiter and also an EQ on Voicemeeter, and I want this EQ and limiter to be in OBS as well. And I also, if I want to mute the microphone here, I also wanted to mute it in OBS. And if I select the output capture, those functions will be bypassed. So I can't mute the audio in OBS with Voicemeeter. Same thing with the EQ, it will be bypassed. So that's why I have to select input. And for that to work, you actually have to have this output, the bottom here, activated as well. So yeah, that's kind of a thing. So yeah, in OBS, for example, the microphone, I have it set to A3 here, and music section A4, and browser 5, and desktop B1. So, and that's what I actually select in these devices here. So you can see that it's out A3, and you got a bunch of other stuff. You got the B1 and B3 and B2. They are not in order. I don't know why, but yeah, so A3, select that because that's the microphone. And the music goes to A4. So Spotify will actually stream to A4, and I can show you how to do that. If I start Spotify here. Yeah, Spotify is on a different monitor. So if I switch to this one, this is what you see, or what I see. I have 3 monitors, so I'm recording the center one. So the right one is Spotify over here. There you see the sound setting. But if I start playing Spotify, just a second here, a bit short here, and then go into the sound mixer, open volume mixer. Spotify will show up here, and if you click on it, you will get these options. And here you can see I set it to number 4 on both of these. I set it on both just to be safe. And when you do that, when you set this to 4, it will actually show up on my on this one on number 4, A4. So I do this for all the music players like Spotify and Winamp. I also have VLC here. I consider that to be a video player, so it's got its own audio device. Yeah, so that's how I actually set it up in OBS. It's kind of important to have it on the input capture, so I get the EQ settings and stuff. Yeah, that kind of the changes that I did here. I don't have any filters activated on the microphone. I used to have a compressor and stuff, but I don't really need it because I just need the limiter, and I use a Voicemeeter for that. What I do though is add the gains on a couple of stuff because I want to be able to turn down these bars. So if I want to add more volume, I can just use these volume settings here, because by default they are set to maximum. But yeah, kind of a nice kind of feature. And let's move this over here. Another thing that I got is the Voicemeeter comes with a couple of extra applications. One of them is a thing called the Voicemeeter Remote. Looks like this, and if you resize the window, you will get a bunch of other extra buttons, so you can have a lot of buttons here if you want to. I just have it like this, showing these two, and it's the mute mic and mute all buttons. These are macros. So you see the control numpad sub. So if I hold down control and the minus key on the numpad, I will mute the microphone. And if I hold on control and plus, it will mute all of these inputs. And if I actually, this will also be highlighted when it's active. And you can also see at the bottom, the mute buttons will activate. So if I control plus, you see that the button will go brighter. Also the mute buttons. Same thing with this one. If I do control minus, it will only be the microphone. So that's kind of a neat feature. And that also affects OBS. So the microphone will also be muted in OBS or all the devices. And the macros for this, if you want to access the settings for each button, you right click on it. So this is the mute all. And yeah, the strip is a strip 0 to strip 7. And strip are these inputs, all of these inputs. They're called strips. And these outputs are called bus. So right now it says strip 0. Strip 0 is actually the first one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we have the bus, the same thing there. Bus 0, 1, 2, and stuff. So right now I'm just muting all of these inputs. And here's another thing. For example, if you use a browser, if you press Control plus and minus, it will zoom in and out, so you can make the text and stuff larger. I don't want that to happen if I do that. So in this macro setting, you can have it exclusive key. So when this remote software is sort of started, it will make this key combination exclusive for this software. So no other software can use the key combination of control plus and minus. That's the way I like it. You might not want it to do that, but so yeah, same thing with the microphone mute. it will be exclusive for this software. Yeah, otherwise nothing special updates. The updates were mostly about this and how I actually set it up in OBS. So you got a bunch of extra stuff. And also in here, you set up the surround sound system. You right click on it and configure speakers and set it up for surround sound. Normally, by default, it's set to stereo. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit, the new update for it. So it added the virtual cables, so you don't have to use virtual cables anymore. It's kind of nice. Or the extra, if you decide not to go with this Vio extension license, you sort of need the virtual cables. But when you activate this license, you don't need the virtual cables anymore. You can just use this one, the top ones. But if you use the virtual cables, you need to select them as well here as a device. So, yeah. But it's just an extra step. And these virtual cables also use the old sort of audio drivers as well, because they haven't been updated in years. So, yeah, that's why I went with this new system. So, yeah, I think I will wrap it up right here, and before the video gets too long and I start to ramble a lot. So I have a video about how I set the dual PC setup, and I put the link to that in the video description. So yeah, catch you later.